Most businesses who come to YouTube get stuck at the $10,000 a month mark, even if their views continue to increase, meaning sales and profitability suck until you know how to fix this. So to help you break through plateaus and build a channel that is capable of earning 3 to 7 times more without needing more and more views, I'm going to review a real business that wrote into me who's stuck at this point and show you 2 different options they have that could get them to $50,000 a month. These options have helped businesses I've been working with smash through their plateaus and generate millions. So this is Sonny Sound, and he sells low-ticket courses and digital downloads, and he told me his biggest problem was getting more views to generate sales and trying to work out if he should launch a high-ticket offer. Probably the 2 most common questions I get asked from anyone selling anything low-ticket online. So let's solve both of these problems for him. And to do that, I want to break down the 3 big problems he has that are stopping him and most businesses hitting $50,000 months. And this first one's actually stopping him getting more sales and views because what he's doing is known as genre hopping. And this is super common. So we got one video, which is house. Then we have the next one, which is techno. Then we have the next, which is drum and bass. What happens is you've split your audience in 3. So let's say you have 10,000 subs. Well, you might only find that 3,000 care about that, 3,000 care about that, 3,000 care about that. So when you make a video about drum and bass, you're only really appealing to 1/3 of your audience. So I do have a solution for you that means you can continue using this strategy, although it's not necessarily the one I advise, but I think we can come up with a workaround. Your next problem is this. So if someone clicks on your page here, they then go up here, and it's Sonnet Sound Dust, don't know what that means. After Hours, don't know what that means. Speed, don't know what that means. Don't know what that means. So they are hit with an overwhelming amount of options. Now, if we go to your video, we've got a techno one here. Now, hopefully we'll see there's a techno product that is relevant. Yeah, there we are. So you're kind of getting around this split audience issue by putting the right link to the right product under the video. And that's good, but what you have now is a huge amount of marketing complexity because there's just so many options, but I've got a solution for you, don't worry. And then the next problem you have is basically what everyone who sells low ticket products has, and it's this. Right, so this is the problem everyone comes up against selling low ticket courses, low ticket plugins, anything, is so you will come up with a new course or plugin. What will happen is you'll get this huge spike in sales the week you launch it. And then what happens is the next week it crashes a ton because you've basically depleted your hot audience. What that means is all the people who really trust you, ready to buy, who found your offer really appealing, they're pretty much gone. So you get this big hit. Then what happens is the next week, sales are still okay. You've got some people coming in from your limited time special offer that you came up with. Then the next week, you don't have any promotion and a few sales dribble in. And then they start to tick down and you think, I need to do something. So you have a sale and whoosh, you get a massive spike again because you've created this urgency. But then the next week, your sales almost drop to nothing because once again, you have depleted your hot audience. And then they go up a little bit and then they kind of dribble in. So anybody who sells low ticket always has this massive problem where the moment they take away urgency or an offer or a value add, sales crash. So they're constantly having to play this game of what do we come up with next month to get more sales to come in? Otherwise, they will come in, but if there's no reason for someone to sign up straight away, they often don't. So those are the 3 big problems. And although you want to look at high ticket, I have got a slightly different option for you. Now, this is going to enable you to simplify your entire offer, and it's going to enable you to increase what's called your earnings per view. So let's look at why what I'm going to show you is going to simplify your offer. So the problem you currently have is your genres. So you've got your house, your trance, your drum and bass, and they're all pointing to individual sales pages. And that's okay, it's super targeted. But what that means is all of your traffic is constantly going to different places. So we've got multiple funnels that we have to optimize, and that's a lot of work. What I think you should do is this. Now, traditionally in marketing, it's a very bad idea to point all different types of people at one sales page because you can't speak to all of them at once. But here's how this works. So years ago, for those of you who've been around, I had a girlfriend back in the day. Her name was Liv, and we still get on today. And she had a yoga channel, which we blew up incredibly fast. You can see when I started helping her with the channel, she literally got 2 million views on that first video, 1 million views, 8 million views. Like it went absolutely insane. And back then, her business model was low ticket workshops and courses. So what we would do is every month we would come up with a new live workshop we'd sell, and it was epic. And it kind of solved the problem of this warm audience depletion, because every month we'd have a new offer, we'd launch to our list, and sales would fly in. That would then generate sales of the old offers too. And we did this month after month after month for about 18 months. But then it got to the point where Liv was like, this is kind of graining on me. Like every month we got to prep this big event. And then we also had marketing complexity with all these different offers, and it was getting too much to promote. So we decided, let's simplify the marketing, and instead of having lots of offers that we're driving people to, let's simplify it. So we just drive people to one sales page with one offer. And the idea was that if we could only have one thing we ever sold, you could optimize one funnel, but also it's just an easier life. And like Liv wasn't looking to make multiple millions a year. She wanted like a good lifestyle and a really strong business that was easier. So what we did is, I didn't do this, this was all Liv. She set up a very slick bit of kit called Uscreen. It's kind of like Netflix for your business. And she created a membership, which she's done a huge amount of work to. What she did is she took all of that content, all of these workshops, put it all into the membership. She'd also been doing tons of yoga training via Zoom during COVID. So she had this like insane bank of content she'd been building up for years. And she put it all into a membership, which is awesome. So you can see on here, some of the results people get from it were incredible. It was an amazing project to be part of because she was very good at helping people. But then what made this even smarter was, the problem when you have a huge bank of content is it can become a bit overwhelming, right? And people don't know what to click on. So she turned the content into challenges, step-by-step series that if you follow, it will help get you a result. And build this platform where you can see here, right? It's like, look, do this over 6 weeks. Watch this video, watch this one, then this one, then this one, and you'll get a result. And by giving that structure amongst a massive content, it's enabled her to produce a fantastic product. Now, she won't let me say the numbers, but she does very well, right? And the cool thing about this is she just drives everyone to this one offer now. And as a result, she has a retainer. So she never starts from zero. And every month, the business can get bigger and bigger and bigger. And this has enabled her to keep the low ticket lifestyle in that it's kind of more passive, but also to earn a lot in a very simple way. So now I'm going to show you how to work out if you should create a membership system like this. But more importantly, I'm going to show you how to make more money from it without increasing your views on your channel at all. In fact, I'm going to show you how to make 3 to 7 times more doing exactly the same thing as you already are. And I'm going to use this channel, Mr. Sonus Sound, as an example. Right, so the best way to look at this, let's imagine that business is like a ladder, and each rung of a ladder is a sale from someone. So business 1, all they ever do is make one sale. Business 2, when someone comes to their site, they buy something, and then maybe they come back a few months later and they buy another, so they've got 2 rungs. And then we have business 3, who's got 3 rungs of the ladder, meaning over the course of the year, maybe people buy 3 things. So if you sell a lot of low ticket products, we don't need to get you more views. We need to build you a longer ladder so that every view that you convert buys 3, not 1. But how do you do that? With a membership. Okay, so the first step you need to take is finding what's known as your average 12-month order value. So to do that, just go to your Stripe or your PayPal, whatever the heck you've got, look at how much money that you made over the last 12 months, and then divide that number by the total number of orders. So if you made 200K, the neatest handwriting I've ever done, and you sold 10,000 orders, your average order value is $20. Then once you've got that number, you just want to find out how often people buy from you. So you can do this in your Stripe or your system. You just want to look for the unique number of customers you've picked up that year. So let's say you had 1,000 orders from 600 unique customers. That means people bought from you 1.6 times over the year on average. Then what we do is, once we've got that number, please do this. Honestly, it could change your life. We're then going to multiply those numbers. So let's say we found that our average order value was 20 and the average person bought 1.5 times. What that means is their average lifetime value is $30 over the course of that year, right? So this is where it gets very interesting. Once you know this number, you can play a totally different game. And knowing that number is potentially going to be a life-changing number for you. And before I show you what to do with this, if you're like, I don't know how to figure this out. Just go by this, right? If people usually buy from you just once, your number's 1. If you have a few repeat buyers, just use 1.5. And if your audience buys nearly everything you have, just use 2 or 3. So then what you're going to do when you've got that number, you're going to come over to the calculator, which I've linked below, and you're going to put in your average order value, which we know is $20 in this example. So I'm going to look at your site, and we're using pounds here. It looks like you've got a mixture of prices. I'm just going to guess that your average order value for now is $29. All right. And then I'm going to guess the average buyer comes to you 1.5. So what that means is this will work out your current lifetime value, or the 12-month value of that client, and it is $43. So every time someone buys from you, on average, they're going to spend 43 with you over that year. Then what you want to do is you're going to put in your membership price, and the membership is going to bundle all of your content into one offer. And I'm going to say, right, we're just going to charge $49 a month for this. And we're going to assume we can keep the average person for 3 months, which is a kind of typical sort of number that I see. If we press compare low ticket versus membership now, we can now see that your current low ticket model makes you $43 per person. And if we switch to a membership where they only stay 3 months, you make $147. And remember, you would actually drive more people to your membership page because every link on every video would point towards it. So this means you would generate, just by switching to membership, potentially 237% more from what you're already doing, based on the views you already get. No channel growth at all, just remaining consistent. Now, what we can also do is add a yearly option. And this is what makes memberships kind of cool. So let's say it's $49 a month, and we discount and we say, become a member and we'll give you 2 months for free. And that the member buys for a year. We don't know if they're going to stay for longer. That will then generate you $490 per sale, meaning you are making $446 per person, a value increase of 1,000%, which is like a 10x, all because you repositioned what you were already selling into something that will feel to people more valuable. Why will it feel more valuable? Because you're going to say to them, look, you can get everything I make for $49, not just one thing. Now, I'm not going to go into the intricate marketing details of how we do it. I just want to show you the potential here to get you thinking. Now, I need to mention something. So when you make this jump to a membership, it's very likely your earnings are going to go down for a few months. And that's kind of what happened with Liv. She had other income sources which helped. But then what you'll find is, over time, it will go up and up and up. But there is a slight issue here, because this will help with the genre hopping thing, because we can position the offer to appeal to them all. It'll take a bit of work, but it's definitely possible. They just need to know that the sound they clicked on is included in that membership. It reduces marketing complexity, because there's only one thing you need to optimize, just getting people from YouTube to that sales page and do they sign up or not. But it doesn't fix low ticket urgency. So you'll still find, if you do this, the months where there's no special offer on, the sales are going to dribble in rather than shoot and explode. However, we can game that system with value adds. So for example, you could turn around and email your list and say, this month I'm adding a free live Q&A workshop with everyone who buys this. Come on in. And that works. I've tried that. You can build email automation. So anytime someone signs up to your list, you could probably hit them with some sort of offer in the final day where it's like, sign up today and we'll add this in to create some urgency. You can play around with pricing tiers. So we could have the regular option and then the pro option, and some months you could maybe say the pro option is now available at the same price as the regular. You can create a more irresistible offer. So the thing that excites me about this is, and it would take work, is once you've worked out how to position this offer to appeal to all of your different genres on one page, it will seem irresistible because they're going to get loads of stuff for a very strong price point. And it's also good because every time you promote, it's going to one offer, not multiple. Now, don't go and just do that because a man with stupid glasses told you to on the internet. It's just an example of what's possible that could solve your problem, because right now you think you need more views. I actually think you probably need more people buying your stuff, and there's many different ways of doing that. But let's move on to low ticket solution number 2 now. The other thing they wanted to know was, should they do low ticket versus high ticket? And it wasn't just them who wrote in saying, "Dear Ed, help me, thinking about doing high ticket too. So this is Robin. So Robin has an AI coding channel, and he wrote in and he said, "Dear Uncle Ed," he didn't say that. But if you write in again, please do. He says his biggest problem is getting people to buy. Whenever I add urgency, like a 20% birthday sale, I'll get 5 to 6 sales in a day. If there's none, I'll get the same numbers per week. So he's basically going through what I just showed you. I've considered copying your cohort model from back in the day, which I was part of, to create real urgency. I'd love your input. So what the heck is a cohort model? Well, a cohort model is basically where you run a program for, say, 8 weeks, and people start at the beginning, and then each week they do a task together, and by the end they've all learned something or got some sort of result or built something. So it's kind of like a big group exercise you do. And these can make people a heck of a lot of money, and this is a great way for people to transition from low ticket to high ticket. So let me give you an example. This is one of my clients recently. When they came to me, they were doing about 3K a month. They launched their first low ticket and they did their first 20K a month. And then a few months later, they were like, time to go high ticket. And the last time I spoke to them, we haven't got the data in yet, they signed up 7 people, but still had 60 calls left and only 20 spaces. So they're going to sell it out. And what that will mean is, I imagine they'll do $60,000 or $70,000 from a launch. This is another client, same thing. Then they came to me, they were doing low ticket courses, about 20K a month. We got them to launch a high ticket, which sold 37K. They launched their second one, did 100K, using this cohort model that I'm about to show you. But it's not perfect. So what you're going to find with the cohort model is you have peaks and troughs. So pay attention to this line here. The first time you launch it, you might make $50,000. I know these numbers are insane, right? The next time you might do 60, the next time 75, the next time 85. But you've got these gaps in the middle where you're not going to make much money, if anything at all. So what you need to work out is, if you want to do this, is this a better option for you with these peaks and troughs than the low ticket or the membership option? So I'm going to help you guys work that out now with another fantastic calculator you can get below. But before you go jumping in, let's just look at the cons of running something like this, a high ticket program. And this is going to be a lot more work than selling on-demand courses. You are going to have to deal with people. You're going to have to deal with confused people, annoying people, stupid people, right? The other thing I would say is, I've been selling high ticket cohorts and courses now for 3 years, and there's very few people who are still doing it from when I started. In fact, most people I see do this seem to come in, run a few, and then go, nope, going back to the way it was easier, because it can become quite stressful. Doesn't have to be. Now, really, this isn't the dream a lot of people come to YouTube with, where they just want to make videos and make money. So that's the con. The pros, you will earn significantly higher dollar per view, which means you can basically make more money without going viral. It is more rewarding working with people, because when you do on demand, you don't often see that many results. You kind of have to hound them. I think Liv's done a great job of getting people to send in their visual proof, but you have to be very hot on that with low ticket. It's going to protect you against AI. So not Robin, because he's in AI, but many people who sell passive templates and creative assets, it's not going to be long before AI is just making them for everyone. I'm already building websites and apps in a couple of minutes. Higher ticket services are protecting you against that, because AI will take the baseline from beginner to okay very fast, but getting from okay to excellent is still going to require that human support. And it's probably the easiest money I've ever made. When I look back to when I was running my cohort, it was the same. It was just easy. There's very little work looking after, and I used to do as much as I could. But when you're looking after a group of like 20 people, it's not that much work. All right, so if you're thinking, I want to try this approach, which is the one Robin's thinking about, step one, we need to work out your audience temperature. What does that mean? Well, you need to launch to something. And you can't launch a product on a YouTube channel very well. You can if you're Iman Gadzi and Hormozi and you do these big live streams and webinars, but you need to be very good at that to start off with. So you do need an email list. And if you want a decent launch, we're probably looking at 3,000 people on your email list minimum, getting 40% open rates already. That means your list's kind of hot and into you. We also want to be making sure you're probably getting around 50,000 views a month, because that's going to show a decent audience size. Ideally, you've had existing sales from your low ticket stuff or calls. So you've got existing clients. These are going to be people that buy from you straight away. And also you get a lot of comments below your videos. Not many people talk about this. And there's many other signs. I'm not going to go into them all today. But if you've launched a video and in the first day you get like 10 comments and it's just people not really adding any value to the comments, they're just saying how much they love you, you have a lot of buyers there and you have fans, and that's powerful. So once you have an idea of what those metrics are for yourself, we can work out the potential. And of course, I have built you a calculator because anyone can build apps now. So this calculator here, I'm just going to put AI, what's your niche? So if you want to figure this out for yourself, link in the description, I'll email it to you. Put your niche in, put how many unique buyers your low ticket offer already has. So I'm going to guess, I don't know Robin's, I'm going to say 30, and I'm going to say he's selling whatever he's selling for $495. Now, I know Robin, I know he's been in tech for years, so he could charge thousands for his service because he's going to be very good at it. So I'm going to say his high ticket offer price is going to be 3,000. I'm going to say the expected conversion rate is going to be 1. What this means is when we launch to our email list or when we drive people to our sales page, 1% of the people who visit are going to convert. Now, this number, if you are good at making content, good at writing emails, and you are an expert, it's totally achievable. If you're new to everything, it's not going to be that high. It'll probably be pretty low because you have to get good at YouTube, and this will increase. Monthly views, well, I checked it out. Robin's getting about 213,000 a month, which is a lot. Weekly posting frequency, he's popping out 1 a week like a good boy. And how long he's been posting? He's not been posting that long. Right, let me explain what this means. So how long you have been posting makes a big difference to how easy it is to sell stuff to your audience. So Robin's just over 6 months, but he's had other channels before. He's very good on camera. He's got a ton of credibility. He's not a beginner creator. So although this channel is only 6 months old, he's producing content at a level of someone who's been doing it for 2 or 3 years. But his channel is only under a year. So basically, if you're new to YouTube and your content quality is not that good yet, it's going to massively impact how easy it is to get people to buy. But I'm just going to put this under a year for Robin right now. And then tick if you have an email list. I know he does. I'm going to guess his email list is 3,000. I'm going to say his email open rate's at 40%. I'm going to say if he's been selling 30 products a month for 6 months, say he's gonna have sold 180. Now, before we hit the analyze, I'm gonna tick this. This is the cohort model because Robin's gonna launch a cohort, not something that's open all the time. So we're gonna analyze, and as we can see here, he's ready for high ticket, strong email list. It's hitting all the benchmarks that I spoke about, and we can see the growth potential. So his current monthly revenue based on my estimates is about $13,000. If he switches to cohort and runs 4 a year, the average of his entire year each month will be 27,000. And you can see based on, let's say he does 4 launches over the course of the year, what will happen is each launch, I recommend you let more people in. So he'll start with 10 just to test it. Next one will do 20. Once he's figured out any bottlenecks and made it better, he can start bringing 40 people in. And that will then make him $330,000 over the year if he hits these metrics. This little green tick basically means that he doesn't need to get any more views. He can maintain the growth and the views, his baseline views, for a year and can maintain his email list, and he will probably hit these numbers so long as the offer's good and he gets some good testimonials. Now we know that Robin is capable of hitting these numbers. It would be a good idea to launch, right? So what we're going to do is create some hype. So because he's already got a email list of thousands of people, you want to start teasing something's coming, something big, something special, something that's game changing. And you're going to do this in the run up. Now, I'm not going to go into the whole launch strategy today, but we want to show off and get people excited and get them onto a wait list. All right, so step 4, we just need to convert people. What that means is we need to make them become a client. And you're not going to like this bit because there's different ways of doing it, but some of them might mean that you have to do things that you don't really get that excited about doing. So let me explain. So 3 years ago, when I started selling cohorts, I was very fortunate in that every video I was making was getting 150, 200,000 views back on my old channel Film Booth. So I had a huge amount of volume looking at me, and I had a big email list too. And I wanted to sell out my first cohort with 20 spaces. So when you have an audience of like 250,000 regular viewers a month, you know, 1 million viewers a month sometimes looking at you, that's not very hard. So I would email my list and say, spaces are open, apply. I would then look at the applications and we would get like hundreds fly in. Most were like, I couldn't help, so they didn't get an invite. Then I would send an application to people to say, here, if you would like to sign up, here's the payment link. It's $5,000, please. And people would pay it, which back then no one else had ever heard of anyone doing. But I built so much trust with my audience and it worked. Like, it was pretty easy getting people over the line. And those 20 spaces would fill out. Sometimes I would also send people a little Loom video. So say if someone applied and I was like, oh, I really want to work with this person, I'd send them a Loom. A Loom is just a screen recorded video with me in it. Just saying, yeah, here's the link. Can't wait to work with you. Please get it done in the next 24 hours because the spaces are going fast, and we move on. That's like the dream scenario. Very little work. You get to pick who you work with, and it just flies off the shelf. That's probably not going to happen because I still haven't heard that happening to anyone else other than me ever. So what's more realistic is you actually have these other options. So if you don't have a very trusted name, you don't have a very big audience, and selling out 20 spaces is going to be tough, you're going to have to speak to people. You have to get them to book in a call, and you're going to have to work out if they're the right fit, and then you're going to have to try and convince them, well, come and join my thing if you are, which people don't like doing. The next is you try my apply and then Loom approach. And then the next is you just put a buy now button on your page. But we could rename these. The first would be earn more, work more. The second would be earn less, work less. And then the one at the bottom would be slash your sales and do nothing. We have to be realistic here. Like, if you're new to this, we can't have a buy now. If you have the problem I had where I had so much volume I didn't know what to do with it, I could have got away with that. The same for the Loom. But if you don't, you have to talk to a human being. Otherwise, they ain't going to give you thousands of dollars. So if you're going to do calls, here's my advice. Start simple and add friction. What does that mean? Well, lots of people use type forms and these apps that create huge surveys that people go through, so that by the time they get to the end, they're either right for the call or not. But I didn't do that. When I decided I finally wanted to bring in calls and scale, I just created the simplest form with the idea that we'll take a load of calls, and if there's loads of the wrong people turning up, we'll then add more friction. So we'll add in more questions to the form. And you know what? We never really needed to. It wasn't that bad. So before you go and do anything really complex with your sales process, what you would do is just take some calls and see what happens. If it's full of time wasters and people who are the wrong fit or can't afford you, then start adding more friction to the form. Things about pricing, things about when they want to start, things about their experience. If you do the apply then Loom option, all you do is you drive people to your application and your sales page, you pick your winners that you really want to work with, and you just send a Loom. And if you do a buy now, just drive people to your sales page and cross your fingers and hope for the best. But this is what you're going to go through. So the first time you do this, you don't know what you're doing. And even if I help you, I don't know what's going to happen. We can't predict how many time wasters are going to get in touch, what's going to happen, how easy sales will be, how hot your audience is. Even with all these numbers, I kind of know, but it's still not a guarantee. So the first launch is painful. The second launch is easier because we've worked out, do we need more friction in your sales process? Do we need to change the sales page? Do we need to be more aggressive with your marketing? Do we need to appeal to a different person? And the lessons you will learn between 1 and 2 are worth millions. Then launch 3 is easy because we know what to expect. We have benchmarks. We understand that if 1,000 people go to the sales page, 1% will book a call, and then 50% of those will become clients. So we have numbers to base things on, which makes optimization of a funnel much easier. And then the fourth time you do it, it's actually going to start to bore you a little bit. And you're going to go, oh, this is easy. I just make 100 grand every quarter. And running it's easy. And I've worked out how to make this program better. And that's when you're going to want to go, right, it's time to build a bigger thing. But how do you build a bigger thing? Well, you start with a small thing. So if you want to know exactly how to go from 0 to $1 million selling a high ticket, watch this video here and I'll show you the exact process that I used. And if you'd like to apply for one of my roasts, there's a link below. Not my Sunday roasts,